Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and I'm switching some things up. We're getting outside of the realm of superheroes with Marvel Comics, DC Comics, Star Wars, you know, that sort of thing. And we're jumping over into anime. New territory for me. I don't know, I may have done something in the past on the channel with anime, but nothing that stands out or that I could really remember. I've picked up some things here and there and posted like to Instagram or whatever, but this video is going to be the first, I think, like anime figure review that I've done on the channel. Because I absolutely love this anime. My kids and I, we watch a few different ones, you know. Years ago we watched My Hero Academia. We never really finished it, and then we've kind of jumped around Jujutsu Kaisen, and Bungo Stray Dogs. We watched Kaiju No. 8 was kind of I would say the most recent one, and we really loved it. So I was thinking like maybe I could do some stuff with the Kaiju No. 8 SH Figuarts figures. I think they look great. I love the characters. And it would be really cool. So, shout out and thank you to Big Bad Toy Store. They have all of these figures in stock right now. I've got them here so I can review for you guys and talk to you guys a little bit about Kaiju No. 8 and these SH Figuarts figures. If you guys are familiar with SH Figuarts, highly articulated action figures. I have not ever had any or played with any SH Figuarts figure outside of Marvel ones. You know, the Spider-Verse ones and then like the MCU Spider-Man ones. So this one, again, new territory here with the Kaiju No. 8. But again, each one of these figures is actually in stock right now at Big Bad Toy Store. Links in the video description below. But looking at all the packages here on the side, we could see kind of a look at the characters and everything. You'd see Kaiju No. 8, Kaiju No. 9, Reno, Ichikawa, Kikoru, Shinomiya, SHOSHIRO, Hoshina, and then we have Mina, Ashiro. So yeah, I've got them all. This is the entire lineup of the SH Figuarts for Kaiju No. 8, so it's crazy that's all in one video. But I love that they're all different colors and the boxes look really cool. One thing, I'm going to flip them around to also show you guys the other side so you could get a full look at the figures, the characters there. So that is really cool. So just a quick look at each of the packages. You got Mina here, and then that's just kind of all in gray. She's got her huge like minigun thing with her. And then another thing that's cool about these, each one comes with an additional face for Kafka, Kaiju No. 8. I wish we would get an actual Kafka in his uniform, but no, we just have his kaiju form. You guys let me know if you guys think that'd be cool to get a Kafka figure. I think it would be cool, but they all have a different face for the Kaiju No. 8, so that is actually really cool there. So we got Mina, we've got Hoshina there, and I think his box, his and Shinomiya's look the coolest because it just kind of have the brightest colors. But this guy is awesome. If you guys are a fan of Bungo Stray Dogs, the voice actor is the same voice actor for this guy and Ronpo from Bungo Stray Dogs. It's kind of cool. Looking at Shinomiya, this is really cool. She's got that giant axe there with her, bright yellow, looks really nice. Reno Ichikawa, I think, is my favorite character aside from Kafka. I just really like this guy, and I really like the friendship between him and Kafka. It's really cool, and I think it's nice that we get the goofy face for Kaiju No. 8, you know, with his friend Reno. So really cool there. The kind of the big villain is Kaiju No. 9 there, looking pretty scary and like creepy looking and weird. Really weird in the show. He's kind of like overpowered too, drives me crazy. And then we've got the title character, Kaiju No. 8, that is Kafka. If you don't know, I don't want to get into like spoilers, but it's a guy and he can transform into the kaiju because of this kaiju thing that like he swallow. It's like a weird thing, but it's cool in the show, I promise. But anyway, we have all the SH Figuarts figures. I'm gonna start opening them up and we'll kind of go through. They're not going to be super in-depth reviews of each and every figure. I'll show you guys the inside tray to show you guys what all the accessories are. I don't know that we'll get into the fine details of the accessories, but we will take a look at the articulation for each figure. So let's go ahead and get it started now. Okay, so looking at Kaiju No. 8 Kafka, it looks like we get a couple of different forearm pieces. We got an extra set of hands, and then we get 3 additional faces there. So you got kind of these straight face, semi-smiling, open mouth smiling, and then kind of goofy shock surprise face. And then a couple of pieces that attach to this forearm piece. I don't really remember specifically about that, but that's what we got going on there. So that is Kafka, Kaiju No. 8. My bad, not a forearm piece. It's a leg piece. I forgot he used these spikes to anchor himself as he did like a mega punch there. So forearm piece and leg piece. Okay, so here's Kaiju No. 9. He's got an extra set of arms. He's got the extra face for Kafka. He's got 1, 2, 3 extra heads. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of hands, and he's got 2 extra set of hands that have like the bubble. His power set, whatever it was that he kind of did. He did like these bubble things. He could do all kinds of crazy stuff. It was pretty insane. So he's got a lot that comes with him. Okay, so here's Ichikawa, and he has a bunch of stuff too. He's got 2 extra sets of hands. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 extra faces, and then he's got 1 extra hairpiece, and then he's got his weapon there, and then of course the extra face sculpt for Kafka there. So he is quite packed out. Okay, so Shinomiya, she actually has 3 extra face sculpts. She's got an extra hairpiece. She's got a couple of pouches. She's got a sidearm, which Reno Ichikawa also has those pieces. They're just already on the figure, whereas I guess for Shinomiya, they're separately on there, and then you just have to port them on there. And then she's got her huge axe there. There's some special stuff that, like, these special weapons are made from previous numbered kaijus. I don't remember which kaiju this was. Maybe it was Kaiju 3, since there's a 03 on there. I don't quite remember that. She's got 2 extra sets of hands, and then again we get that extra face sculpt for Kafka Kaiju number 8. And my daughter's favorite character here is Hoshina. Hoshina is packed out like crazy too. He's got his swords on there, and you got the sheaths for it. Get a couple of hair pieces. You got those same pouches and sidearm. He's got 3 extra sets of hands. He's got the Kafka face there, and then he's got 3 swappable faces for himself. So another one that is completely packed out. Okay, and here we have Mina, and she gets 2 face sculpts, and then I guess it's not a full head, so she kind of gets this one. She wears this when she uses like this massive cannon gun. It's like a major weapon to defeat like the gigantic kaijus, because not all of them are like massive, huge. We get that there. She also comes with this special stand piece, because this thing is huge, and obviously it's going to throw off the balance of the figure. And then again, we get another Kafka head face sculpt in there. She's got 2 extra sets of hands. So yeah, really cool looking there. Alright, we've got all 6 figures out of the package. My review desk is completely covered with action figures and accessories, but let's go ahead and get into it. Let's look at the kaiju. He's the star, right? Like, this is like the big deal. I like the matching uniforms and stuff for the other characters, but I would love to see all these different face sculpts that we've got for Kafka Kaiju number 8. And some of these, I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't know what, like, the difference is with some of them, like... So here's the thing. These 2 are going to be very confusing, because like these 2 basically look the exact same to me. I think one, his pupils are smaller, and he's kind of looking off to his down to his left. This one, his eyes are a little bit bigger, and then he's looking kind of upwards to his left. This one came with Hoshina. This one came with Mina. So those ones are kind of similar, and I would say that they're pretty similar to the other one that Kafka comes with himself. Yeah, geez, they're so similar. So this one's more side eye. This one, you know, it's kind of straightforward, although it looks a little to the left. It's just kind of crazy, some of these differences on these Kafka faces. But let's go ahead. Let's go one by one, and let's check them out. So this one is kind of the standard one. This one is the one that comes on the figure, Kafka figure there. So to pop that off, you just kind of pull on it, and you can see it just pegs in there with that ball peg in there. So we got that one. And then here is kind of this, I think this is kind of like a smiling face, I would say. As you could see there. And that looks cool. That looks good. Pop that off. And then here is like the shocked face. Because, you know, when it comes to like the anime, like while some of them, they may be serious, there's always like these comedic moments where it's like, he's like, oh my god. And if you watch, like, he's not... Like, he might look scary, but he's, like, not, right? Like, because he's still just a guy, and it's like, So that is really cool there. Pop that one off. And then he has kind of this angry... It's not even that he's angry. He's just kind of straight-faced, almost. There. And this is kind of like a menacing look. He's just kind of looking on at you like, you ready? Ready to do this? So we have that there. But... Again, the really cool thing is with all the other figures, they all come with a different face sculpt. This one might be the best one. This is the one that comes with Kaiju number 9. And this is the one where he's got like the energy effect like emanating from his eyes. And he's just like really ready for battle. Like he puts you know, the fights between them are pretty good, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen, like season 2, which I think comes out in July of this year, July 2025. So that'll be really cool. So this one, really cool head sculpt, because again, you get that like the smoke energy kind of coming from his eyes. So really cool there. This next one is a fun one, because this is the one that comes with Reno, Ichikawa, and this is like the goofy one, because again, you know, they're really good friends. The way it starts off, it's like, you know, they didn't quite get off on the right foot, I would say, but then, you know, by the end of it, they have a real respect and real bond and friendship with them, which is just really, really cool. So that is just a super goofy one, as you can see there, with his tongue out and everything. So that is cool there. I like that. Oops. Looks like I'm losing some pieces here. This on the top of his head. Snap that back into place. And then here we've got his open mouth. This is kind of like the smile one too, but if you look at his left eye, so I don't remember exactly like that. Oh, so the way like he can transform back to a human, it almost like the stuff like fades off of him. Sometimes it could kind of look like a cracking look. So that is like that's Kafka's eye. That's his human eye in there, and you could kind of see like the crack where his face is almost exposed. I would love to, again, I would love to see a Kafka figure. Maybe if they do a Kafka figure, they could do a face sculpt where like half of his face is exposed, because that does happen in the show. That would be really cool. So that is that one there. And this is the one that came with Shinomiya. So get that one off. This is the one that comes with Hoshina. Some of these don't peg on there as easily as I would like. See, like, pop that head top piece off. It's like this one just peg in there, man. Why are you not just pegging in there? Okay, I got it, but I don't have this headpiece. Can I get this headpiece on there without taking that face off? Yeah. Wait. Yeah. There we go. Jeez. More work than it should be. So that one's there. And again, smaller eyes with this one that comes with Hoshina. All that work just to take it right off and then show you this last one. And this is the one that comes with Mina. And if you guys don't know, Mina was his childhood friend, and he always promised that he would join. I forget what it's called. I'll look that up. He would join the fight against the kaijus, you know, for her and stuff, and he would be by her side, but she like is like the top you know, fighter, and he's like terrible. It's so funny. So that's there. So those are all the face sculpts for Kafka. Let's go ahead and take a look at all the figures. Okay, so I've kind of put the figures together and everything. There's a whole lot going on here. Probably wasn't the smartest thing to do 6 SH Figuarts figures within the same review, but I don't want to get too in-depth with it. I really just want to focus on how cool the action figures look and how they really jump off and kind of like directly from the screen of the anime. So we'll get Kaiju number 9 out of the way, and here we have our Japanese anti-kaiju defense force. Man, these figures look great. The accessories are really cool. They just have a great look to them, which I really like. Kafka, I would love to get a Kafka figure, but the Kaiju number 8, he's actually got like a lot of weird things going on to him with the figure itself, whereas the other ones are pretty straightforward in terms of the articulation and aesthetic. So I could really appreciate all these figures. And again, they have all kinds of different pieces, like swappable. They all have swappable faces, which is crazy. They have like swappable hair pieces, all kinds of crazy things going on for them. I'm not going to be able to swap them all around or show everything on the hands. So refer back to kind of the earlier video when I showed you kind of the tray in there, and you guys can see like close-up pictures on my Instagram of the different faces that come in the tray. But I just want to focus on the figures themselves. And kind of how they look aesthetically, and then we'll take a look at like articulation wise. We'll kind of go over that quickly with all of them. But if you love the anime, if you like the anime and you like action figures, and you're a collector, if you know all about SH Figuarts already, you know what to expect. A whole lot of articulation, a whole lot of fun, some really good detail, and good paint apps. So let's go ahead let's start with Kaiju number 8. Kaiju number 9, and then we'll go into the Japanese anti-kaiju defense force. Okay, so we already looked at all of the different swappable faces that we get that comes with the figure, and then each, a different face that comes with each of the other ones. As you can see, the articulation is going to be a bit wonky and weird on this guy. Like, the way they did some of these pieces, it's like very odd. Like, I want to get him to stand up straight. It's just kind of weird, but like, he can bend forward, but you could just see all these different movable pieces and everything that just kind of shift around and adjust. It's a bit weird, to be completely honest with you. And I know sometimes SH Figuarts, I feel like they just really over engineer kind of everything that goes in so they can, really get some good articulation in. That I think they overdo it, like with the Spider-Man legs and stuff, they tend to do that. And I feel like this guy is the case where it's just super over-engineered. Like, each one of these pieces on his head, like, can shift around. Like, you saw this top of the head would pop off and everything like that. Just kind of crazy. And he's actually the cheapest of the bunch. So he's $49.99, whereas all the other ones end up being a little bit pricier. But, if you're going to get any of them, you got to get Kaiju number 8, which is cool. We get that swappable forearm piece to kind of show up the power effect where he really, powers up and delivers a massive, like, punch. And then you got that swappable calf piece where these spikes come down to anchor him down to the ground as he goes in for that punch. So some really crazy cool stuff going on there. But I really like the look of it. You got the spine kind of exposed there. You get this dark gray and black kind of throughout the figure. And then you got that bright blue in there, which is really cool. We don't get like a urinating nipples kind of thing. Like, you have to watch the show. It's a quick second in there. It's not like an important part or anything like that. It's just kind of funny in the context of the show. But it's kind of weird. I'm glad they didn't do anything like that with the figure, nor would I really expect them to, I guess. I don't know why I really brought that up. I just thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, there we go. For Kaiju number 8. So let's go ahead and just quickly go over his articulation, because again, it's kind of crazy, like, what he could do. So you can kind of move the head around in there, you can tilt a little bit, and you can kind of shift, and you can kind of go side to side. The arm, you can get the arm to go out that much there. You get a full rotation in there. There's a little bit of a bicep, but it's really just to allow you to come forward with it. As you can see there, you're not really going to be able to go back with it. You can kind of shift up and shift down a little bit. You could twist at that top piece, or kind of all these different pieces you can kind of twist in there a little bit, and then you can crunch him forward that far. You can't really lean back though, so you would have to, like, utilize the hips to get him to lean back. So just a heads up on that. You can tilt quite a bit to his sides there, so that is really good. The legs do have a somewhat of a drop down feature, as you can see there. You could drop down, and so, like, getting the legs up far apart is only going to be that much. You can't really get too far apart, but you can kick forward pretty far, and then you can actually get the leg to go back quite a ways. You get an upper thigh cut in there. And you get like see, even these two different pieces. This is like a floating piece. You can swivel that around. Double jointed knee gives you that much bend there at the knee. Ankle swivel. You can hinge down. You can hinge up a little bit, and you have toe articulation. Ankle pivot. And I forgot the arms. You got the upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbow. Wrists are on a ball peg, so you could swivel and hinge any which way you need. So that is Kaiju number 8's articulation. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to Shinomiya. Nope, I lied. We're actually going to go to Kaiju number 9. That's the way I had set it up to begin with. That's the way we're going to do it. This guy is skinny and gross and scary looking, like the stuff of nightmares for sure. But man, from an action figure standpoint, you think you'd be worried that he's so thin, he's just going to fall over. He can't support his own weight or anything like that. As long as you can kind of get the balancing with his legs at his feet, you're going to be good. But what I like is that they didn't overcomplicate the articulation in any way. You could clearly see, like, where I kind of got it stuck in there. There we go. You got to work it around a little bit. But, they didn't overcomplicate it with many different layers or anything like that, which is good. So I love that. In the show, in the anime, like, he can do, like, these crazy things. Like, he doesn't initially have these extra 2 arms. That's a swappable piece that you can actually pull out of there. So this is kind of how he looked at first, or, well, not even that. Let's pop that head off, and you get these different head sculpts on here. So you have these 2 where, like, his eyes aren't, like, you can't see his eyes, which are kind of crazy. So you have that one there, and you have this one here with an open mouth. You don't see his eyes, but then later on he's like, boom, I got my eyes, right? And it's kind of weird. So you have that little open mouth, and then you have kind of that screaming with the gross tongue. out. You do get a cover piece for his back, so if he doesn't have those arms out, you do have that back plate to kind of cover up those peg holes in there, which is cool. So you got all that going on, and then you have these. So he used these. These are like his attack thing. So you get all these different hands. So you get like 2 of these hands. So if you want to do it for like all 4 of his hands, you could do that as well. So that's why we get all these 4. So that is really cool. We get a bunch of like open hands and things like that going on with him. But yeah, that is the Kaiju number 9. In terms of the articulation, let's go ahead and check it out real quick. He can look up. He can look down. You can get some pivot going on in that neck, which is good because the neck will move also with it. You get the arm to go out that much there. You get a full rotation in there. You have a little bit of a butterfly in there, which allows you to kind of adjust and shift that shoulder a little bit, and then comes forward a little bit and doesn't really go back. So it's mainly just to come forward, as you can see there, and you get some amazing crossbody. You have a bicep swivel in there. It kind of goes inside the shoulder, which is a little bit different, but hey, it works. Double jointed elbow gives you really, really good bend there. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge on a ball joint, so hinge and swivel whichever way you need it to go. You can swivel at the diaphragm. You could swivel at that waist. You could tilt, mainly because of the waist, although you do see some gappage in there. But you can get some crazy, swivel. You can lean back that much there. You can come forward very far there. So that is really good there. You do have a drop down on the legs, so you could drop down that much there. You can get like full splits, which is really, really good. You can kick forward really, really high. You can go back a little ways. You got a thigh cut in there. You get a double jointed knee, really nice. You got ankle swivel. You can hinge down. You can hinge up a little bit. You got that toe articulation, and you do have the ankle pivot in there. And one thing that I really like about these joints are tight, not too tight, but he's not just going to fall over, and they're not loose in any way, which is really good and really solid. So that is Kaiju number 9. Next up, Shinomiya. Okay, so here is Shinomiya, and she's kind of crazy. She's like this young, this teenager, and she's like super mega powerful. Her dad is like the top guy in the anti-kaiju defense force, so it's pretty crazy. Here's her gigantic axe. It's like huge, but it's not too heavy or anything. It's got a good look to it. Nice silver paint in here, some green in there to kind of match their uniform. So that is really nice. There, she comes with extra hands, so she can grip the axe, and then she also has a pair of fists and some open hands. The really cool thing about her, she's got several different faces that you could swap out. So she's kind of got like this angry one. She's kind of got this little smirk here. She's kind of has her just like straight face, and then she has like this screaming face when she's like in battle, and she is kind of crazy with it. And then she has a couple of hair pieces. So she's got the one where her bangs are kind of swept in the wind, and then she has this other piece where her bangs are just kind of down in front of her face there. And then we get all the pouches. All these figures have the pouches. Some of them, they're like packed out like separately and stuff, but for her, I think for her they were packed out separately, but everyone's got them. But looking at the articulation, again, articulation is going to be really good. She can't really look up a whole lot, but she can look down, which is good. You get rotation in there. Her pigtails actually kind of move around too, which is kind of crazy. You can get the arms to go straight on out. You can do a full rotation in there. I thought I had the shoulder pad. Okay, so the shoulder pad does not actually move with the arm, unfortunately. Like it's pretty soft rubber, so you can kind of move a little bit, but it won't let you move all the way around with it. Yeah. So it kind of prevents you from going full swivel in there. But she's got a little bit of a butterfly, which will allow you to get some crossbody going in there. The butterfly doesn't really allow you to go back really at all. So just a heads up on that. Yeah, bicep swivel in there, double jointed elbow, wrists are on a ball peg. So you could swivel and hinge any which way you need. You can tilt her to the left quite a bit, as you can see there with the diaphragm and the ball joint waist. You could tilt to the right. She can lean back pretty far. There does end up being some gap in that waist, so just a heads up on that. So she can't lean forward a whole lot, and as you can see, I just kind of popped it popped it apart. So she can't lean forward a whole lot. You just have to utilize the hips to kind of go along with that there. Oops, so just the pistol I kind of popped out. The drop down on the legs is it's very, very lacking, actually, kind of surprising. These pouches and stuff, the way they design them, you could swivel them around so you can kind of be able to get the legs that far apart. You can kick forward very far. Leg goes back quite a ways. You got an upper thigh cut in there, double jointed knee, which is nice. No boot swivel or anything. Ankle swivel in there, hinges down, hinges up, pivot, and then you have toe articulation in there. which is really good. One thing about the sidearm, the pistol, is it looks like it could come out of the holster. It does not. So just a heads up on that. That is not a functioning weapon at all. It is there purely for looks. And it's unfortunate because that would be really cool if you could, if they could use it. So she moves around really well. She's obviously just quite small, as you could see, like compared to like Reno, Ichikawa. So she is really small, but she is awesome. Okay, so here is Ichikawa. Ichikawa, I love this guy. He's my favorite character for sure from the anime. Really like him. Here is his weapon. As you can see there, it's sculpted nicely. Not a whole lot of paint, just a little bit of that blue in there. It's just done in this like this titanium or this gunmetal color, almost like a bronzish hue to it. And we get some swappable pieces for this guy. So we get a couple of different head sculpts. We got like 4 different head sculpts. So, this is just kind of his straight face one there. And then you kind of have like this angry face that he has. And then you get, here you get a little bit of side eye going on there, and you kind of have the yelling, screaming face there. And then you have this one here, which is kind of the full mask look, which I really like. So I'm going to show you guys how we swap these out. You can pop that head off, and then what you want to do is you want to like pull this hair piece. He does come with another hair piece that has like his hair kind of sweeping in the wind. So I'm going to swap that out here shortly. So we're going to pull that face off. We're going to put this face on. Oh, we got to work that under that piece so the neck it'll go around the neck. So just a heads up on that. Oh, this one doesn't, like, I got to squeeze the head. Is that right? Am I doing that right? Something's not right. Oh, nope. Yeah, that was for the hair. Duh. So the pegs there, you can put that on there. Okay, so he clips on there. Here is the crazy hair one. So that's good. So you can see it kind of blowing in the wind. So that is really cool. And now you have this collar piece, and that'll go around the neck. And then we just peg that on there. So you get this look for Reno. And that looks really, really cool. Really, really like it. Again, this guy is my favorite character. I really, really like him. Great friendship and bond between him and Kafka. And even though there's, like a 10-year age gap or whatever it is between the two. So he's definitely my favorite. He's got a great look to him. I'd have to see if him and Hoshina actually have the same body, which it looks like they do. No, it's definitely different because Hoshina is skinnier than Ichikawa, so there definitely is a difference in the size between the two of them. So that's kind of cool that each one is really unique. He can't really look up, but he can look down. As you can see there, you get a rotation on that head, and you can get some pivot. You get the shoulder to go straight on out. It's going to be like Shinomiya. You're not going to get a full rotation in there, but you're going to be able to get it enough. Funny enough, his butterfly joint does allow you to get that arm to go back quite a ways. And then coming forward, unfortunately, you got this armor piece there in the front, which will prevent him from being able to really get a good crossbody. If you go high, maybe a little bit, but otherwise you really can't. You get bicep swivel in there, double jointed elbow, bends that much. Wrist is on a ball hinge, so you could swivel and hinge any which way you need. You got the diaphragm cut in there and a ball joint waist, so you can tilt to the left that much there. It's a little bit less than like Shinomiya was able to really move really well, so you can tilt that much there. You can lean back that much there, not a whole lot, and then coming forward. Unfortunately, he really can't come forward, so it's kind of odd that, for an SH Figuarts figure that he's not really going to be able to crunch forward, but then you're just going to have to really use the hips to kind of be able to get him in there. Not much of a swivel to this guy either, like the upper diaphragm will swivel a little bit, but he really won't swivel at that waist, so just a heads up on that. He actually does not have drop-down hips either, so that's a bit odd, but you can get the legs to go that far apart. Oh, wait. There we go. I did get the drop down. So he does have drop down hips in there. It's just a little bit trickier to work, but you can work them. He can kick forward very, very far. He can go back quite a ways, as you can see that. You got a thigh cut in there, double jointed knee. You get a swivel at the ankle. Ooh, why does his not want to swivel? Whoops, I just popped off that little extra piece. So he doesn't, his ankle does not want to swivel, so that's kind of interesting. Foot hinges down, you get some hinge up, toe articulation, ankle pivot in there, and then let me get this guard armor piece popped back on there. If I can, like, everything's got like the ball joint, and you could just port it right back on. But that's interesting. I can't turn the ankle. Whoops. Yeah, the ankle just does not want to swivel on this guy. So that is unfortunate, but there he goes. I still think he has the absolute best look. My favorite character from the show, for sure. You guys let me know what you guys think of Ichikawa. There, I think he's awesome. Okay, so here's Hoshina. This guy's kind of crazy. Like, he's not really good when it comes to like guns and weapons like that, but he has these swords, and he is absolutely amazing with these swords. And these are painted really well and look really good. Do be careful, as they are very thin. So when kind of getting them into the grip hands, you want to be careful, because I kind of bent one a little bit and stressed out the plastic. So be very, very careful with these. But man, they look good. And as you can see, he's got the double sheath in his back, so you can actually just slide them in like so and get them in there, and then they hold really well. They're not going to go anywhere or anything like that. So that is really nice. Let's go ahead and take that one out of his hand. Let's go ahead and sheath that one as well. So that is just a cool look that he's got going there. Again, same uniform, but it is a different body. The legs, I think, may have been the same. No, he's definitely a smaller guy compared to Ichikawa. So, you know, he does have different legs as well. And then for Hoshina, the different pieces that he comes with, and he comes with quite a bit. So here is like that full mask look, kind of similar to Ichikawa that I have on there. But the other ones that he has, and he has several different hair pieces as well. As you can see here, it looks like he has both front and back hair pieces to kind of show like windswept there. So you would swap out completely around his head, which is cool. So you get the full mask look, and then you get a couple of different looks for him. So you have a screaming head sculpt in there. You have just kind of the not impressed look there. And then you have this smiling look here with when you don't really see his eyes. So a lot of the times in the show, this is really how he looks, which is funny because in Bungo Stray Dogs, the voice actor, same voice actor, American voice actor, or English voice actor, has the same, Rampo has this, like the same look. You can't really see his eyes. So I just thought that was a bit funny there. So looking at his articulation, you can get the head to swivel. You can look down. You really can't look up. You got the butterfly that does go back. Coming forward doesn't do a whole lot. You got the upper bicep swivel in there, double jointed elbow. Wrists, again, you could swivel and hinge any which way you need. A little bit better tilt on Hoshina, as you can see there to his right, and then to his left there. You could swivel at that upper diaphragm, not really at the waist. You can go back quite a ways there with him, and then coming forward, similar to Ichikawa, you're just not really going to be able to do it, which again for a Figuarts figure is a little bit odd. So again, you just have to kind of utilize the hips. You do get the drop down hips in there. You can get the legs to go out that far apart. You can kick forward very, very far. The leg does go back in there. That does kind of get in the way of the sheath in there. You got the upper thigh cut. You get double jointed knee like so. See this one, easy swivel at the ankle. Why Ichikawa didn't, I don't know. Foot hinges down, you get some hinge up, toe articulation, ankle pivot in there. Yeah, I don't know why Ichikawa's didn't want to do that. And then one cool thing with the sheath, the way this works, it clips onto these pegs where you would peg in the pouch and the pistol. So this just kind of wraps around onto there and clips on there. So that's pretty cool how they kind of did that, because Mina actually has something similar. So let's check that out. Okay, so here is Mina. And then utilizing the stand, this does help, you know, when it comes to like balancing and getting it to stand. So that works out really well. This is like her special weapon, this massive cannon gun. So like the mega kaijus, the super large ones, she's able to take them out with, you know, one or more shots with this guy, and it's pretty crazy, as you can see there. So some good details going on in there. Looks really good. Get a little danger warning, things like that. It comes in two different pieces. Like this piece is in there, I think, just for like space within the packaging. And you would just port it on. Whoops. Oh, I lost that. But anyway, you would port that on, and that's how you would complete the weapon there. So that is really cool. Again, the stand piece, you got that. And then she wears this headpiece when she uses the weapon. And so this like clips around just like Hoshina's does. It clips onto her belt. Where you would kind of do that, so it's kind of funky, and you got to like work it around either the arms or the body, however you want to do that. And then the way her head sculpt works is this takes up like the front hair piece as well as like the face. So let's pull that off, and it's like this whole piece here. So then when you want to like swap out her faces, so here's just kind of like a little bit of a smiling face there, and then you have an angry face here, and then you also have just kind of this straight face here, which we're going to pop on there for her face. Oops. Face there, and then you got the hairpiece there, so put that hairpiece on, so then you can complete the head, and then pop that back onto the body there, and we have our Mina. In terms of articulation, kind of the same thing with Shinomiya, but she is definitely bigger, so they don't share a body, as you can see size-wise, significantly taller there, which is cool. So the arm you can get to go up, you get swivel at the head, she can look down, whoops, see. She can't really look up, so you got a butterfly joint. You can get the arm to go back, and then you can get crossbody come forward a little bit. You got bicep swivel in there, double jointed elbow, wrist swivel and hinge any which way you need them to go. The diaphragm on her also is pretty lacking, so she can only tilt her left that much there. She can tilt to her right that much there. You get a little bit of swivel on that upper diaphragm, but man, it's pretty lacking. Like, she can't really even crunch forward. She can lean back just a tiny bit. So it's kind of crazy with Figuarts figures. Like, we would expect more from them. Like, even Shinomiya gets a little bit of crunch. Like, why does Mina like not crunch forward at all? Interesting. Ooh, did I break something? I did not break something. I pulled this off because it feels like this one, the drop down hit, doesn't really want to work either. So I don't know if I just got to like work it a little bit better. So you can come down a little bit, but it's definitely tricky. Let's move these, swivel these pouches out of the way too. Legs go out that far apart only on her. She can't kick forward very far though, and the leg does go back. Bicep, thigh cut in there, double jointed knee, like so. We do get a nice ankle swivel in there. You can hinge down, you can hinge up, toe articulation, and ankle swivel. And then you do have, you know, these ankle protector pieces for the boots. Pop that back on. So a little bit lacking in terms of the articulation, but like, if I'm also being honest, Mina didn't do a whole lot of crazy stuff. Like, she is like viewed upon as like the best defense force soldier, I guess it would be. Like, out of everybody, like, everyone looks up to her. She's like the inspiration for everybody to join. She is, you know, a badass. She is really cool, but she doesn't. I don't recall, like, I don't know how much like hand-to-hand combat it really shows her do, because she's more of a leader, and then again she's like, you know, uses this mega blaster to defeat the kaiju, so she's not really in the mix of it, whereas Hoshina is really good when it comes to close combat, hand-to-hand combat, and, you know, using swords and daggers and stuff. So, you know, each one has their pluses and their minuses. Okay, and that is my review of the Tamashii Nation's SH Figuarts Kaiju number 8 anime figures. We've got Ichikawa, we've got Mina, what was her last name again? Mina Ashiro. We got Shinomiya, we've got Hoshina, we've got Kaiju number 9 there in the back, and then we've got Kafka, Kaiju number 8. If you haven't watched the anime, I highly recommend it. I think it was only 12 episodes in Season 1. Season 2 is supposed to come out in July. It was a whole lot of fun, a whole lot of action, and just really cool. But again, I really like the bond, the friendship between Ichikawa and Kafka, and then the whole Kafka and Mina having been childhood friends. And then his promise to stand alongside her, and then Hoshina's like, yo, I'm the one that stands beside her, are you gonna take my spot? And then you got Shinomiya, which is like the badass of the group. She's like super awesome. Her dad's like fully in charge of everything in there. Like, it's kind of crazy. Highly recommend you guys let me know what you guys think of the anime down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of these SH Figuarts figures with 6 different ones. I couldn't get into the super details, otherwise this would be a super mega long video, which I just would not be able to do. But you guys let me know what you guys think of these SH Figuarts figures. Which one is your favorite? Which one is your favorite character? A little disappointing in the articulation on the torsos for these guys, but I really like the clean look that they have, whereas like Kafka, Kaiju number 8, he's got some crazy cuts and articulation is just really weird. These guys are pretty straightforward, and I really appreciate how they look. But you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below. If you're looking to pick up any of these figures, again, they are all in stock right now at BigBadToyStore.com. So make sure to check out Big Bad Toy Store for all your action figure needs, including these Kaiju number 8 figures. And shout out and thank you to them for sending these out so I can review for you guys. Give me your thoughts in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.